my man got too familiar, and I ended up having to whip his ass, man, because, he would step across the line. Habitually, he's a habitual line stepper.
Yeah, so lost episodes, in my opinion, are like just for whatever reason, if like maybe the audio was bad or maybe, something else was wrong, then we say, you know what, that wasn't maybe a full length episode. Maybe we only talked for 20 minutes and you had to go somewhere and then I had to go somewhere. Somebody wasn't feeling good. So it was an episode and then...
Gosh. If we have to stop in the middle of an episode because somebody's not feeling good, they are in real trouble.
We also have children, so that's highly probable that somebody will just while out and we got to go.
Let's hope not, God willing.
One time, like one of the freak accidents that I remember in the most recent time was I'm chilling upstairs and I hear a bah, like Claire was about to, so she's about to take the boys out somewhere. And I hear that, like, what? I thought y'all were leaving. I go downstairs and somehow I put a folding table, like, those little like cart tables that like fold like an X or whatever. I put it by the door because I was gonna move it to the garage. Somehow, dude kicked a ball at the base of it. He went to go grab the ball to stop, slipped. The ball hit the base of the thing and fell down and like dislocated his shoulder.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. And it was like, I didn't see it. I said, Clairbo, explain this to me. She explained. I was like, that doesn't make sense. She's like, it doesn't make sense. I was like, I just took the word for it. He was in so much pain. I was like, dang, dude.
Yeah.
And I still, honestly, I mean, there may be more or less details of this story. It was so weird. It was one of those things I just said, you know what? Whatever, dude. Whatever.
I mean, and part of you has to be like, guess I can't leave tables around anymore.
No. That's like first kid stuff. First kid stuff is like, I'm not leaving tables around ever. It's like kids like, I mean, but did he die?
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to, every time.
It's because you don't give anyone a heads up. You just go right into it.
Well,
And gaps in our conversations basically don't exist. I was cutting audio from like a previous like conversation, and there's a little thing that like cuts the silences. Like a minute, it only cut like 5 seconds of silence.
I was so bored.
Wow, my computer's fast. It's like, no.
Yeah, no. To that point, I think that's why we like interject each other all the time, because otherwise, like when the two of us get going, there won't be a word in. Poor electric. Anyway,
it's also a defense mechanism because
we'll get to that.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, let me do it. All right,
okay.
So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Habitual Line Steppers podcast, aka To That Point, aka podcast that's never the podcast that never was, name pending, late to the party, and Radical Teddy and Friends.
Man, it's
today you have today you have Rebel Alliance, and
Scrotowola, what up?
Yeah, there you go. I always want to leave space for you to say your own. But what you don't have today is Electric Thunder. Pour something out for Electric Thunder. Wait, no, not pour something out. He didn't die.
No, he didn't die. He's very much alive and very much well, and will remain so for an indefinite amount of time.
Yes, like I don't want to just say the foreseeable future, but
No, the future.
The unforeseen future.
So the reason why Electric is not here is because Electric is actually going to be relocating to the same locale of his fellow line steppers. So he has some major life changes, and we're dope. We're happy about that. So, and that's all we're gonna say about that because we don't want to dox nobody.
Facts. But he will be closer.
Yeah,
very close. Y'all two met in person for the first time.
Yes,
awesome.
For the first time meeting the Thunderous One. It was great.
Sound like Thor. I mean, he does have muscles, so
he has all the muscles.
Before, yeah.
It is funny coming back a little bit, but no, he got all of them.
I realize how secure in my masculinity I am because every time something with muscles needed to be happening, I was like, "Oh, he's here."
Yeah,
muscles.
I don't have to do all the muscle stuff.
Yo, I really was. I don't want to say delegating, but definitely was deferring all muscle things to him.
I had a friend like that.
Yeah.
I had a friend like that in California
funny.
who was like 3 times as my size. And
Yeah.
we were out one time at a club or whatever, and his name was KO. And we just,
Okay, that's ominous.
it also helped the mystique or whatever. But yeah, his name was KO. And we went out, and I was also fit. I was also very fit at this time, and I was also pretty ripped,
Right.
but he was on another level. And we went out, and something happened, and we got in some altercation. This is back before I was like, I ain't fighting for your dumbass. That's before that was like my official stance. But
Right.
some guys started I guess bumping gums or talking smack or whatever. So I puffed in my chest like, "What's up?" And they were like, "All right, man, all right, man, cool. Don't worry about it. We good. And they started backing up, and I'm like, "Yeah." And then I was, "Wait a minute, hold on. I look muscular. I look like I know how to fight because I do know how to fight. Reaction is not proportionate
Right.
to reality. Like, what's wrong?" I turn around. KO has his shirt off, and he's like pacing back and forth, talking under his breath.
Oh man.
My ego said, "Womp womp womp." He's over here smacking like I've been waiting for this shit my whole life. I was like, man, I can have this one dude. I had just started working out again. I not too far out of a recent breakup, so I'm like, all my fitness, revenge body stuff, and no,
Yep.
not so
Peak
much.
fitness.
Yeah.
Uh,
So what's up, man?
I
What's
don't.
new with you?
Apparently, I need to go work out again then, because I don't think I've ever been in physical enough fitness to de-escalate a situation.
There's lots of ways to de-escalate a situation,
Yeah, but
and
not on my physique alone.
no. Well, here's the thing. Well, you're probably right because there's 2 ways that I look at it, but either way, you're probably right. So there's a quote from this podcast that I liked, and the guy said, "Every man needs to be able to be in a room and with certainty know that he can either kill everyone and eat every person in that room or outrun them." And I always say that track is a martial art, and I'm a black belt.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
so de-escalation of
Oh,
the situation could mean just dipping, just leaving.
I'm gonna tell you right now. If anybody catches me on foot, they earned it. Like, yo, props to them.
No, I have no problem dipping out, and I've done that several times, and I will continue to do it. I got my whole motto in life that keeps me alive is I got stuff to do tomorrow. So
It's
nope, no, I
the
don't.
topic of this episode is not that crucial
It's never that
because
crucial, dude.
I've definitely seen people get ready to fight over the dumbest of things.
Oh
I'm like,
man, and then just
so let me catch
growing
this
up,
straight. One of y'all is gonna go to the hospital because the other person couldn't say I'm sorry. Cool.
and just growing up down down in the Southwest, and I'm sure everybody from any town America, any city America has the same experience. It's just like you really want to. First of all, getting hit hurts. Now, granted, I like fighting a lot,
Right.
but
Yeah.
I don't like getting effed up. And punching hurts people. I don't want to do any of those things that's not for sport. I remember when I went to California, for the first time. I was down there and I didn't really know anybody. I ended up hooking up with this one dude, linking up with this one dude.
That is not the way you meant to say that.
I got another story about this dude too, but that actually makes that a little bit more appropriate. I ended up going on a date with this guy, and I did not know I was on a date with him. I told you the story, right? Anyway, so I linked up with this one dude. Actually, this was the day before our date. So
Okay.
see, now I have to
I know-
clarify.
Y'all will definitely be hearing that episode at some point.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
All right. Let
In the
me try to
meantime,
figure out what order to hit this in.
No. Save the date for another episode.
Okay.
We're gonna hit where we are. Let's stay on course.
So
right
apparently
now.
we were talking for a while before we went on a date. I am
You ADD guys are gonna try to have zero tangents today.
Good luck. I am very oblivious. I have I tell people my gaydar is really good, but it's low on batteries, and I haven't changed it out. So I don't know that I've been talking to this guy for like 2 weeks.
Awesome.
And he invites me to go to this club. I'm new to the area. I'm like, sure, I'm down. And he's like, I'll pick you up. And I was like, okay, that's like the completely opposite direction. I got a car. Like, oh, why don't I'll just meet you. He's like, he was really adamant about me picking him up. And I didn't really pick up on that. So anyway, I met up with him. He's like, hey, let's go hang out at my place, do a kickback. I didn't know what a kickback was at the time. Kickback is apparently when you just go to someone's house and like chill. But there's like a term for it in California. All right, cool. So I went over there.
All right, cool. That's my favorite type of hanging out then.
Oh, absolutely. So I go over there and I'm expecting other people, and it's just me and him. I'm like, okay, that's strange. Are we gonna leave soon? And he's like, oh no, just hang out, pre-drink a little bit. I'm like, but this is just us. And so we were there for a while, started watching TV, and I'm like, yo, when are we gonna go? So I said, look, man, I'm not really drinking that much. I'll DD. And this is like the worst decision I've made. I'd never DD for people I don't know, because fuck people. So we go out to the club or whatever, and I drive out there, and he's buzzing. Yeah.
Designated driver. I
don't mind DDing for people I know and care about. It's just everyone else on the planet can know. Go figure it out. There's Uber now, so go figure it out. And so we get there, and this one guy, I bump into him, this one dude bump into him. It's like, you need to watch where you going. And anytime I bump into somebody, whether they plexing or not, whether they have beef or not, I'm like, hey, my bad. And so I bump into him, and he starts like, what are you doing? Like, starts like, just jaw-japping and stuff. And I'm like, hey, no, my bad, dude, I ain't mean it. And he's like, wipe my shoes. And I'm like, yo, nobody has ever told me to do that since Fondren Middle School. And I remember that being a big dilemma, because I'm like, what do you do when someone tells you to wipe their shoes after stepping on them? I'm like, bro, my bad, dude. You got that. My bad. And then he's like, wipe my shoes. And my problem that I had much less control over at that time was just knowing when to shut up. And I was like, wait a minute, are you serious? And he's like, yeah, dude, wipe my shoes. And I'm like, I'm not gonna wipe your shoes. But I am sorry. You want me to buy you like a drink, or like, what do you want? And then he's like, I said, are we gonna fight? And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah. I said, are we gonna fight? And he was like, what do you mean? I'm like, cause you're mad. Like, are we going to fight? I don't want to fight, but are we going to? And then his friends like scoop him up and move him out of the way. And then my friend pulls me out of the way too. And it's like, okay. I never really understood that escalation, because again, maybe it's like neurodivergence or whatever, but it's like, is a fight avoidable? Because if it is avoidable, I'll avoid it. If it's not avoidable, then I'll just fight. Like, I can't avoid it. If we're gonna fight, let's just do it now. I don't want to be caught off guard with fighting.
Right. Not to mention, there are very few reasons to actually fight. Like,
very few. Again, fighting hurts.
Yeah, like when you really think about what was the reason for the fight, most of the time it's over nothing. And I'm having trouble thinking of legitimate reasons to fight other than, oh, somebody else is like either crazy or criminal and like putting someone that I care about in
kids
danger.
or wife. Yep, that's it. Kids or wife. Yeah. Kids, wife. Automatically, you know what I mean? We're going. Family. Yeah. Depends on what they're doing. Depends on who it is and what's happening. But kids and wife, it's on site.
That's like, oh, he's on his own.
Mm-hmm. And then another thing that I remind of is just like, it took me a while to realize how de-escalation works, because I just didn't get it. A lot of, and I would actually get into fights when I moved to California at first, because I was de-escalating things the wrong way. So a lot of times, like there's this story's happened at least 3 times. I would be talking to a girl. The man would come over like, that's my girl. And then I would be like, hey, my bad, dude, and I would back off. But when you do that, you show them that you're like weak or soft or something, And it's
How is that weak or soft?
Because they want to come off as macho and they want to come off as real strong. So if they're like, get off my girl, and you're like, oh, oops,
it just
my bad.
did.
Yeah, I just did. But then they want to like twist the knife a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
They want to twist it and be like, yeah, that's what I thought. And I go like this a lot. Hey, my bad. And I'm trained to do this because this putting my hands up is not too different from actually putting my hands up to fight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if someone is going to throw a swing or a shot at me, I'm ready to go. But
Thanks.
but the marketing behind that movement is not that great. I mean, it does show people that I'm not the aggressor. That's another thing. It signals that you're not the aggressor. But it
Right.
also like inflates the other person's ego. Like, oh, this guy is a bitch. Let me go ahead and just like get a couple more in on him. You know, make myself look cooler, more macho around people, and that
Yeah.
escalates the situation even more. And then I open my mouth and say some shit like, "Are we gonna fight?" And that, I'm genuinely asking that question,
Right.
but it sounds like a badass. Like, are we gonna do this? Like, you know.
Right.
But it's not what I'm doing. And so I've gotten a lot of trouble with that because I just didn't know how to de-escalate stuff. And I eventually learned to literally just leave.
Clearly, we are the same type of neurodivergent because your question just made sense to me. Like, are we going to fight?
I
It's a
don't want to be
legitimate question.
chilling and then
Yeah.
just get hit. Like, are you gonna fight me?
Yeah. I guess the only thing I would do differently is not to ask, like, are we going to fight? But I'm like, hey, all right, whatever. And to your point, leave.
That's how you do it.
Um,
You just be like, my bad, dude. I'm gonna go this
Right.
way. You know?
Yeah.
And then if they do
I'm going to still
stop
keep an
you,
eye on them because I want no surprises.
oh no. When I say leave, I mean leave.
Yeah.
I mean leave. I don't trust anybody. If they get that angry and they're that petty, I'm out. I don't gotta stay there. And that's why I don't go to these places anymore. I don't go to clubs and stuff because why?
Most of the relationships I've ever started have not started from clubs in the first place. So
That's the
clubs have
opposite for
nothing.
me.
Clubs bring nothing to me.
Most of the relationships I have been involved with, hold on, let me choose my words very carefully.
Extremely carefully.
Have been club or nightlife related. Now, most of the good relationships that count have not been.
Right.
So there's that. But the club has been very nice and very cruel to Mr. Scrota over the years.
Oh,
So,
glad those days are over with.
I said something the other day. I said, "Yeah, I'm all but finished with that." So it was like, it didn't go over. It was a joke, but it didn't go over well.
Of course, it didn't go over well. Well, to that point, Electric is single, so I'm sure we will be wingmanning like here and there.
Yeah, I mean, there's limitations with that because you don't want to fly too close to the sun.
No. I'm. Side note: props to all y'all that are out there single right now, dealing with apps and popping balloons, all of that mess. Because y'all make it seem way harder than anything.
No, it is harder. I don't think it's a seeming thing. I think it's significantly harder.
I mean, at the same time, it should be significantly easier too, because
easier to what?
Me folks, like everyone is like not everyone, but a vast majority of people are at your disposal now. And I don't mean disposal as in like, oh, you use them and throw them away, but more so like your fingertips. You can like meet people that you before would not run into. I mean, remember back in the day, it used to be legit like, hey, whoever is within walking distance, that's what we working with. So
I don't think meeting people is the problem. I think people genuinely don't have problems meeting people. And again, I'm married to my best friend. I'm probably the most out of touch human being on the planet. But my childhood friend. But
right.
I don't think people have problems meeting people. Like I know single people on dating apps and stuff like that, and they get matched. They go on dates. It's meeting good people and like finding matches to date that's difficult. I don't think people are having problems like fucking either. Like if they want to get it in, I don't think that's difficult. I think that's easier. But finding meaningful relationship and connections, I think is significantly harder now.
Audience, let us know. Is it that you are becoming more selective because there's a larger selection? Or is it that you're finding out what you are interested in is more rare, even though you've enlarged or increased
Embiggened.
the sample size? Embiggenized the sample size. Yeah, we'll
If
figure
you were
that
to,
out.
yeah, that's a good question. If you were to ask
Ask
me,
people.
I
If we were single these days,
oh God, if I was single, I would be a nightmare, dude. I would be the
of course.
worst.
Oh my gosh, what?
I would
Mm.
be so bad. I don't want, listen, I tell people all the time, I don't want any superpowers. I want 0 superpowers because, oh, oops. I will be the worst person and I will have the whole speech where I'm like, only I can do it. I have to fix it. It's just me. So, dating and a cell phone and today's technology, in my opinion, is a superpower. And when I was 28, this is about 6 months
This is
before
compared
like
to streaming in my head, but you're streaming people. Oh. Binge. Oh, I can't even finish what I'm about to say. That's just bad.
When I was about 28, like 6 months before I started dating my to-be wife,
Best friend. Yep.
bro, I had a moment like with Neo in the Matrix where he starts seeing code. I was like, oh, I just get it.
Yep.
If I had that level of clairvoyance and a phone, there would be no good that comes out of it. None. So no. I don't even know how I got on this tangent, but like
My bad.
I think people's expectations of what reality is so jacked up because our echo chambers are so tight nowadays. And there's so much bad information so that it's difficult for people, and I'm speaking specifically about young men, how to like understand what really matters in a relationship, understanding what they're really looking for. And I'm sure I can say the same thing about women as well too. But the people cosplaying as relationship experts and stuff online and stuff like that, it's really easy for people to get wrapped up in them. And because of the algorithm and the echo chamber, they don't know what actual real real people and real relationships require. I have female friends that are single, that are older, that are like looking for a good man. And when they meet dudes, they're just like these good dudes who have like the worst ideas on like dating. And I think a lot of that is because the way we talk about dating and or having sex and securing a life partner are getting conflated.
There you go. New segment. Ask two married dudes. Whatever questions you have.
Don't ask me questions.
Hey, you are married. You are been in a relationship for a long time. There's clearly a difference in choices that you would make that someone who is not able to maintain marriage might make, because there is work involved. There are decisions that have to be made. There are egos that need to be managed. And yeah, I'm sure there's definitely choices that you make that another brother, person, man, woman, child, children shouldn't be married, but person would not make. That is the difference between you still being married and someone else not being. Granted, of course, that's not every relationship, that's not every situation, but we definitely hear some people making fail. Like, there are definitely times where it's like, hey, you need to go home, right? Like, hey, you should not say this, right?
Yeah.
But some people do. Keep it real. There are times where I shouldn't say XYZ because it's going to start an argument.
Yeah.
Half of you's like, man, I'm going to say it anyway.
Yeah, but you say you're like, no, but I got an ill point though.
Exactly. Like, you know what? I've been extra good. I've been amazing. And I'm right. I'm gonna say it anyway.
What y'all booing me for? I'm right.
Exactly. So
Well,
there are times where and there are times where we don't. There are times where you let it go because you know, even though you're right, no good could come of you having her acknowledge you're correct.
for
So it's
me,
like, let it go.
and this isn't good.
Not that crucial.
For me, whether I say it or not is largely, it's more of a function of, I know where this is going to go. Do I have the energy and investment to go along with it? It should be, this isn't a good outcome, don't say it. But I'm like, okay, when this goes south, am I going to keep the same energy? And if the answer is no, I'm like, I'll say it later. That's not good, but it does put some type of filter or check on it. So,
Oh, I legit go off like, do I have time?
yeah.
Because no matter what it is, I will see it through to the end.
Yeah.
But do we have time for that? So if I don't, then skip it. It's not that crucial. I mean, there are times where I'm just like, all right, cool, fine. You're right. Bye. Because it's late. I know my wife is not going to finish the argument or debate because it's more of a debate with us. And so if we're not going to finish it, why even start? So I'm like, all right, whatever. My favorite though is when eventually she winds up arguing my side like the next day or so. And I'm like,
That
you don't even realize.
that's the
You're saying
hardest
what I
test ever. Do I shut up, or do I point this out, or do I point this out and drag everyone through it?
Yeah.
And it's not an ego thing. It's just it's a
little bit of an ego thing.
It's a little bit of ego thing. But for me, the way I justify it and rationalize it, I'll be honest, is, can we acknowledge truth? Just truth. Can we just,
because
I want to work.
It will save time later.
Yeah. I want to establish some axioms. I'm doing it again. I want to establish some axioms, right? Just some stuff that is just true and established. And if we do that, then we're good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to that point, it's also like you want to know. There are just sometimes you wonder things about your partner, and a virtue that would be valuable is knowing, oh, can they acknowledge, this thing, or, if we want to have this conversation, are we playing in the realms of like reality, or is it going to be one of those conversations where like she's going to say the sky's red if it like helps her win her argument?
If it is perceived,
sometimes you just want to know
in the argument.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It won't. Because I can see the sky.
Right.
And I know you can too.
Right. But, are we playing in the realm of reality, or is this just, combative for combative sake?
Yeah.
So it's good to know that. I mean, all y'all out there, beware of toxic relationships. If you notice too many times that your partner is not playing in the realm of reality, you might want to address that.
So I try to
is it worth it?
Tell people, like, because sometimes I get asked for advice, because marriage is hard. That's one thing that I have learned, and I have it probably as good as a person can get. I'm married to my best friend that I've known forever. Her stepmom and my stepmom are like super good friends. Like, she was part of my family before she was part of my family, right?
Side note, you said your stepmom.
I said her stepmom and my mom.
You said my stepmom and her stepmom.
Oh,
just
well,
so you know.
I meant the other way around then.
Yeah, because that confused
the
world out of me.
So they're really good friends, and so there was no like, oh, who's this new person coming into my thing?
Right. Yeah.
But like, I tell people, like, there's only a certain realm of like advice that I can give people about like marriage and stuff that I think is valid, because I have been really privileged, and then also I don't probably not a person you should take advice from, because I have like some very apparent flaws in my personality that my best friend, who's known me since we were children, has straight up gotten used to. So
Right.
I would tell, not, you don't need to say that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
No, just don't ever do that. Like, I would just leave. I wouldn't do that if I was you. Like, all that advice is just bad. But just there's some general stuff.
Oh my gosh. No.
There's some
never
general
do that.
stuff. There's some general stuff that like I can feel comfortable giving advice on. But aside
Right.
from that, like, I just realized we all don't really know what we're doing, and I'm lucky to have made it this far. So,
Yeah. Like what?
as you know, I'm not a very easy person to live with. For those that don't know, Rebel and I were roommates freshman year of
Yes.
college. A decision that we realized we should never make again.
Oh my
So-
gosh. The TV show The Odd Couple made so much sense after that.
Yeah.
The whole time I was like, why didn't he just move out? Like,
I thought the same thing too. And then the next year I moved in with somebody who I was equally as like apart with, but the room was so long
right.
that it was fine.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'm not doing this again. So I can't live with people. Got it. So yeah.
Yeah.
So quick little deviation or whatever. I think
Tangent to the tangent.
you said what?
Tangent to the tangent. Isn't there a mathematical term for that? Cotangent?
I don't think that's what a cotangent is. But it
Cotangent is
sure
when it's on
but
the-
it sure sounds like that's what a cotangent would be. Is a
it
cotangent?
should be.
Hey
what it-
Google, is a cotangent a tangent of a tangent?
No, no. That,
They say we have cot equals 1, tan equals tan. So you can think of cotangent as just being a reflected, shifted tangent. Everywhere that tangent goes to 0, cotangent goes to infinity, and vice versa.
Ah, got it. Okay. So it's
the
reflected.
ratio of the ratio of the side adjacent to a particular acute angle to the side opposite the angle.
Okay.
Okay, I see it.
So I think we're at the point where we can actually start bringing guests in.
Wait, was that your tangent to the tangent?
That was my cotangent.
I don't know if we just used that correctly.
No, we use it correctly because we just define how to use it. So you define a term, let cotangent equal this meaning we're saying, and then after that, we're good to go.
Okay.
That's math. If you just say let this be true, then it's true.
X.
It just only in this conversation.
Yeah.
Only here. So yeah. What I did want to do, sorry, I'm just rambling, dude.
No, well, one, it's funny because I can keep up with the tangents. So tangent A was yes, cool, we totally should. Tangent B, you're about to introduce now.
No, that was that was actually tangent. So people lose track of like diverging conversations. Right?
Unless they're super ADD like me.
Well, yeah, like when I say people, I mean like regular folks.
Yes.
Like I found out, and it took me a while to realize that. No. I don't have the problem. It's all y'all. And that's what sucks. It's because like democratically, like if everyone thinks that like salami on saltine crackers is delicious, then it's delicious, and I can't do anything about that.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
And that's like where
Unless they
democracy
define it as an
sucks.
acquired taste.
No.
When you tell me something's an acquired taste, that means, oh, it was nasty and you just got used to it.
But that requires a level of clarity and self-awareness and honesty that most people just don't have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when something tastes
I-
good, it means if I take 20 people and feed it to them, over 15 be like, yo, that's good. If over 15 people say it's good, then that thing is good. It's defined as good now.
Especially off the rip.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
shout out to Trill Burger.
Only off the rip.
Yeah.
If
An
15 people
acquired taste.
eventually say it's good, then that thing is not good. It's not bad. It's good, and it belongs in a special category. But it's not just good.
Acquired taste.
Yeah. Like, what's your acquired taste? Like, what are things that are acquired taste to you?
I'm having an incredibly hard time figuring because I am a Taurus.
You're one of those. Oh, food is
So
so good.
I'm
What?
extremely strong will up. Yeah, and it better be off rip. If it ain't good off rip, oh well.
But there's so much. There's so much stuff.
Yeah, there's enough good and delicious food that I don't need to acquire tastes. No, if you're not good off rip, oh well.
No. Okay. What
Like,
if you
okay,
live? Go ahead.
what was an acquired taste for you?
Beer. I would say not beer. I would say malt. Beer is an acquired taste, but I was more exposed to malt earlier because I drank malt when I was younger. And the Nigerian community is probably gonna come at me, but like, shut up. I'm right. Malt isn't good. I used to love malt because it's an acquired taste. But like, if you gave malt to 20 people who never had it, like 3 or 4 of them would say this is delicious. The rest would be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So malt's an acquired taste.
Chitlins?
Come at me.
Because I smelled them being clean before I ever had them.
Oh, man, you can't go off the smell, dude.
So, exactly.
You can't go off the smell, man.
Okay, first off, smell is supposedly like 60% of taste. So if you ain't passing that test,
there's 40%
like,
there. There's other 40%.
Oh well.
Do you eat boudin?
Still got to deal with
do
the
you
60.
eat boudin?
Yeah, I do.
Then you
but
can.
Not
then
like
you know.
regularly.
Then you know you can't go off smell.
Yeah, exactly. And to that point, there's a lot of stuff that I had. Oh, goat's delicious. I'm sorry, goats. Y'all are on the list.
Horrible when you're cooking it.
Yeah, I've never smelled it being cooked. Like, same thing. So
don't.
I'm sure. Exactly. I'm sure if I'd ever. There's probably a lot of foods that if we smelled it being prepared, we would be like, raw. But we always get the after product. So, except bacon. Bacon smells delicious while it's being prepared. So
that's true.
Yeah. That said, yeah, I'm sure if I had not smelled the chitlins being chitterlings, for those who are unaware of what chitlins are, pig intestines cleaned.
Everybody know who chitlins is.
There's a lot of history there. You'd be surprised. I mean, new folks are being born every day. They don't know the history. Yeah. That said, yes, I'm sure if I had them without them being, cleaned in my presence, they'd have been fine. But yeah, it definitely threw off chitlins for a good minute, for a good number of years, because I couldn't get that smell out of my head. Worst smell I'd ever smelled.
So you don't have a food that you really, really love, but other people don't love, and you're like, listen. You gotta pay attention. You gotta lock in. This is good.
Sushi is, but I loved sushi from the get-go.
That's strange.
There's a lot of people who have yet to try sushi.
And I love sushi. I love sushi. I had sushi yesterday. But again, when I'm saying good and not good, I'm talking about the 20-person test.
Right, and I'm sure I don't know. See, to me, sushi was good off rip.
But does sushi pass the 20-person test? Diverse group of people, never had it before. 20 people.
I think if you did a blind taste test, they'd be like, "Oh, this is great." But if you tell them what it is, they'd be like, "Nah."
When you say sushi, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about legit, like a piece of sashimi over rolled hand rice, like
a roll, like a sushi roll.
I mean, you could do a wrapped in seaweed roll, but I was going off like the bigger pieces when you have like.
So what? So let's narrow it down. Like what fish?
So then, let's just start with the basic small hand rolls, not like the
rolls?
bigger ones. Because there's the rolls where you have the rice outside. There's the rolls where you have the rice inside of the.
And then there's a hand rolls when you have like a burrito, right?
Yeah, well, those are like the bigger joints, but it depends on the restaurant you go to, because there's also the rolls.
Fancy.
I love sushi, and the particular style of sushi that I was first introduced to is apparently the fancier kind, which is where you have a piece of sashimi over like a hand molded, clump of
Yeah,
rice.
like a fish slug, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It looks
yeah.
like it. Yeah. Yeah. I love those. But
nigiri, right?
yes, that is
I'm looking it up. I don't know off the top of my head, but yeah, it's like nigiri. Then there's sashimi, which is just the actual meat itself, and the maki rolls, right?
the oval shaped mound of rice with a slice of raw fish on top.
Okay,
That is nigiri.
so that is what we're talking about, right?
Yes.
And what are we talking about? We're talking about the
Yes.
sushi. We're talking about like yellowtail. We're talking about like salmon. What are we talking about?
The very first piece of sushi I ever had was salmon nigiri.
Okay. And do you think salmon nigiri, no sauce, no soy sauce, no nothing?
My stepfather, he did the slightest hint. He dipped it into a bit of soy sauce and was like, "Here, try this."
Okay, so you dip in some
like,
soy
all right.
sauce, you give it 20 people. What number do you think is gonna be like, this shit's good?
Man, if 6 people don't say this good, I don't have faith in humanity.
Listen, I think 6 people will say it's good. My bar is 15.
Oh, out of 15 people?
No, 20 people. Out of 20 people, 15 need to say this is good for it to be like deemed as good.
Yeah, I think we would only get to 11. So out of 10 people, 6. Out of
high.
20 people, 11.
I wouldn't be super surprised if 11 did it, but
salmon,
I know it doesn't pass 15.
Like salmon is the lowest bar of like.
But so many people don't eat fish though. It's
just weird.
My son doesn't eat fish, and I know it's because he can't eat fish. Like he can't eat it. If he doesn't have an allergy or whatever, but like if he eats something with fish in it, he might say this is delicious, and then he'll throw up. Like he can't eat fish.
Oh yeah. So yeah, our daughter used to be like that with eggs. Like,
Yep. Pizza clears the 15 person. Clears it.
Of course. Yeah.
So pizza's good.
Pizza's good.
So sushi for you is that thing that you're like you wish people could like. No, just to hear me out. Like
gosh.
just
yeah.
I would agree. Yep. I would agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm sure people will. I'm sure every day somebody's like acquiring the taste, but yeah, it's definitely one of those things I wish more people would try. Actually, maybe I don't. Maybe I wish it was cheaper.
That's not gonna happen because only a few select because it is niche. Everyone would need to like it even more to make it cheaper.
Facts. And like, how crazy are we gonna go with these meats? Like,
I love anything that had parents. It had parents.
I mean, I'm sorry, vegans. I'm sorry. Like,
it's fine.
I just want y'all to know, alligators on the list.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry,
absolutely.
I'm sorry, alligators. Yo, I will never forget the alligator po' boy I had in Louisiana.
Have you had shark?
No.
Have you had a shark burger?
What?
Oh, it's so good. Okay, you send
my jaws on jaws? No.
Send us out.
All right. This has been the Habitual Line Steppers podcast, aka Late to the Party, aka the podcast that never was. To that point, name pending, Radical Teddy and Friends.
Even though it's not pending.
I am the Rebel Alliance.
I'm Scroto.
Yep. And we thank you for listening this week.
For sure.
We're going to always do our best to bring you something.
Yep. We'll be back with Electric next episode or so. Or maybe not. Or maybe, I mean, I guess you'll be, regardless when we release, it'll be the next episode. But a couple questions that we asked. We'd love to see what you guys think of the comments and what you think of the tier list. So, yeah.
But
if you do shark burgers or like shark is like the steak of fish.
Oh yeah, I'm
so good.